Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. And this week and all this month, we're talking a lot about menopause, weight loss, and what you need to know from an exercise, micronutrient, macronutrient perspective to help you reach your goals. I want to know, how are you feeling this morning? How's your day going so far? I'm so happy that the heat broke, that it's not 95 degrees here anymore. I think that said it's going to be 75, and I love a good 75-degree day. So let us know how you're feeling, how the weather is around you today, down in the comments below. Today we are talking, like we said, all about what you need to know about menopause, weight loss, nutrition, exercise, all of those things tied into one in this little brief mini training for us. And this is a precursor to our Nourished membership masterclass of the month, which is all about menopause and weight loss, helping you lose weight during that hormonal change because it is possible. And that leads me to our first point here. We wake up feeling like once I turn 50, my metabolism turns off. It all of a sudden gets dialed back. It gets dialed down. It's got to be menopause. It's got to be hormonal changes. And while those things will absolutely affect how our bodies are functioning, they'll absolutely affect our metabolic rate. They can also affect to our muscle mass and how we're able to exercise and recover. It's not so much that our bodies turn 50 years old and we're having all of these issues. For many people, it's actually the history of restrictive dieting that's causing more of those issues. The biggest predictor of weight gain is dieting. And especially when we go into menopause or we're having some of those hormonal changes, these things can be exacerbated by us following only a 1,200 calorie a day diet, by us over exercising, by us not focusing on our overall health and well-being because we're trying to do as best as we can to minimize that weight gain from menopause and be able to lose the weight and keep it off. So restrictive dieting is actually not going to be the answer for us here. We're going to have to look at taking care of ourselves overall. So like I said, nothing magically happens when we turn 50 years old. There's no magical switch that gets flipped and says, all right, we're going to start gaining weight. However, research does show that we are more likely to develop insulin resistance through menopause with those changes in our estrogen levels. Because estrogen level starts to go down, it does affect how our bodies are processing things. So when we are battling something like insulin resistance, having altered blood sugar levels, there are a couple of things that we really need to focus on. And it's not going into an all-free, carb-free diet or never having carbohydrates again. What's going to really be best for us is reducing that carbohydrate intake to maybe about 40% of our overall intake, reducing that carbohydrate intake to maybe about 40% of our overall intake, but really focusing on the protein, the heart healthy fats, and the fiber. That is because we also have other risks for issues like, irritable bowel disease, of course, but cardiac related diseases. Those tend to be on the rise once women hit that menopause stage in their life. So focusing on heart healthy fats is really, really important. But the protein is going to be key to help with fighting that insulin resistance to prevent those big blood sugar spikes and drop, and also to prevent that belly fat accumulation that can happen with those changing of those estrogen levels. Another thing to really consider too that people don't really talk too much about is that exercise in menopause is going to look different from exercise from our day-to-day lives. So maybe right now you're maybe in your mid-30s or maybe in your late 30s. You love the high intensity classes. You do the Orange Theory, you do cycling all the time. You're going and you're like burning yourself out in those processes. When we hit menopause, our bodies are going to react differently. We don't want more of that high stress activity in our lives. We're actually looking for more of the low intensity exercise. It's going to target a lower heart rate, have less of that cortisol change in our bodies, and be able to kind of navigate those a little bit easier. So that means less of that HIIT classes, less of that high intensity interval running, things like that, more of that focus on strength training to be able to maintain muscle mass, which helps us to maintain metabolism, and also to look at maintaining the bone density too. So strength training is really important for us, especially as we go through menopause. The other big thing for us to think about and look at is that low intensity walking. Maybe it's incline walking, maybe it's taking the stairs, or focusing more on that balance training to help us kind of keep that center of gravity and prevent falls, trips, things like that too. So not a huge calorie deficit is needed. We tell our clients usually 300 to 500 calories at the most, focusing on key nutrients, which we're going to dive into inside of this month's masterclass when you join the Nourish membership, that you need to be thinking about. We'll also give you some really great and easy exercise ideas too, for things that you can start to incorporate into your routine to help you with managing weight gain, reducing weight gain, and keeping your health high, keeping your health strong through menopause and as we continue to get older, to prevent some of those other issues like diabetes, insulin resistance, osteoporosis, cardiac related diseases, and so much more. It really does come down to our healthy habits, how we're taking care of ourselves, our stress response cycle, taking care of ourselves as far as with mindful eating, and so much more. So just when you think you need to decrease your intake even less, I really want you to start focusing on how can I balance my intake? How can I increase my protein intake? How can I focus on muscle building rather than muscle depleting things like chronic exercise, high intensity exercise? So we're going to be talking about this all month long inside of Nourish with Emily, as well as in the Nourish membership. This is our class of the month. It's all about menopause and weight loss. So if you're interested in joining this class, I'll drop the link down in the comments below. The Nourish membership is only $29 a month, along with getting access to that class, which is usually $50 if you're buying it separately. This week only, you're getting a 10-minute coaching call with me. So maybe you have questions. Maybe you want to know more about like, okay, how much calcium do I need to prevent bone loss? How much protein should I be getting for my goals? What are my calorie goals? We can answer those questions for you on that 10-minute bonus phone call that you get this week when you join the Nourish membership. Like I said, $29 a month, no minimum commitment. You're also going to be getting our entire recipe and resource guides, over 200 different recipes, over 300 different video trainings that we have in there, handouts like what 30 grams of carbohydrates look like, what's the best sources of protein, 2 weeks of easy breakfasts and lunches, and so much more. And that last thing that you really want to consider is you do get access to our client group chat for community support. So we had someone drop a question in there today of saying, all right, what coffee creamer do you recommend? Because I feel like I'm just using so much of it and it's so much added sugar in my day. How can I change this? And that's something that I answered, as well as we had some other really great contributions in there too. So community to help you make change, help you to keep the motivation going so that you don't fall off the wagon, and to help you make the rest of the year your strongest and healthiest year yet. So I'll drop the link for the membership down in the comments below. When you join this week by Friday at midnight, you're going to get that free 10-minute bonus coaching call with me. You'll get access to all of our resources, 2 monthly Q&As this month, the monthly masterclass on menopause, and so much more. We also have spots inside of our signature nutrition coaching program too. So if you want more high-level support and accountability, we are here to help you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you inside the Nourish membership. See ya.